So, you want to know how to really read the Bible? I'm not talking about just letting your eyes skim the pages. We're talking about a genuine quest, an adventure, a personal journey of discovery. Let's dive in.
You know, this verse from Proverbs, it completely changes the game. It reframes reading the Bible not as sitting through some lecture, but as a treasure hunt. The idea is that the most profound truths are actually hidden, like jewels, just waiting for us to be curious enough to go looking for them.
And here's why that treasure hunt idea works so well. The Bible, it's not just a single book. It's more like a whole library, right? And every story, every law, every prophecy is like a piece of this giant cosmic puzzle. The really mind-blowing part is how these pieces, written hundreds of years apart, talk to each other. They create this living conversation that unfolds as you read.
And the best part is, you don't have to go on this treasure hunt all by yourself. This verse from Psalms, it's like a prayer for a guide. Show me your ways, teach me. It's this beautiful idea that as you search, you're not alone. There's a guide there, ready to help you find all those hidden riches.
Okay, so where do we even begin? Well, the first big key, and this one is absolutely crucial, is context. It's all about learning to see the world through their eyes.
And that leads us to this really important distinction. The Bible was written for us, for sure. Its wisdom is timeless. But, and this is a big but, it wasn't written to us, not to a 21st century audience. And once you get that simple shift in perspective, man, it changes everything.
I mean, think about it. The world the authors lived in was completely different from ours. Their daily lives were shaped by powerful kingdoms, intricate temple rituals, deep tribal loyalties, and the constant realities of exile and warfare. Reading without that awareness is kind of like listening to only one side of a phone call. You're missing half the conversation.
So you see, context isn't just a boring history lesson. It's about empathy. It's about stepping into their world to understand why these words mattered so much then, which is what helps us understand how they can still speak to us so powerfully today.
All right, with that foundation laid, let's get practical. Let's look at a kind of narrative roadmap, a simple four-step method for navigating these ancient texts.
So here they are, the 4 steps to reading well. First, you observe the details. Then, you understand the context. We just talked all about that. Third, you compare what you're reading across the rest of Scripture. And finally, you reflect and apply. Simple enough, right? Let's dig in a little bit more. Okay, step 1, observe. This is all about just slowing down. Before you go searching for some deep, hidden meaning, just see what's actually on the page. Who are the people? Where are they? What's happening? These are the tangible anchors that hold the whole narrative together. This means we meet Abraham as he's waiting for a child that seems impossible. We walk with Moses as he leads a wandering people through the desert. We're right there with David as he wrestles with his own heart. By stepping into their world, we really begin to see events through their eyes. And this leads us to step 3, compare. Now this is where the real treasure hunt begins. This is where you take what you're reading, place it alongside other passages, and start connecting these incredible threads that run through the different books and stories. For example, you might be reading Jesus' parable of the Good Samaritan and then suddenly realize it brings a whole new layer of meaning to an ancient law from Leviticus about loving your neighbor. The 2 texts, written centuries apart, speak to each other across time. It's incredible.
Or you could be reading a story about a king or a battle, and then discover a prophecy in another book that echoes that very same story, giving it this deeper divine significance.
This is the treasure hunt we talked about at the beginning. The real discovery, those aha moments, they come from finding these connections and seeing how all the individual threads weave together to form one single coherent story.
This brings us to the final, and honestly, the most important part. We've talked a lot about the how of reading, but now we need to talk about the why. This isn't just an academic exercise, it's a personal invitation.
So, after all the techniques and the historical context, what is the final key that unlocks it all? What's the one thing that's absolutely required?
It's this: to listen. The key to reading the Bible well is to approach it with an open heart, a willingness to simply listen, and to let the text speak for itself before we try to master it.
This verse from Revelation gives us one of the most powerful metaphors in the entire Bible. It's this image of Jesus standing at a door and knocking, patiently waiting. He invites, but he never forces his way in. The choice to engage is always ours.
And that's the thing. The door only has a handle on the inside. This whole journey of discovery begins with our personal choice to listen and respond to that gentle knock.
Ultimately, this is what it all boils down to. This journey isn't about mastering an ancient text. It's about entering into a conversation that has been going on for thousands of years, a conversation about God, humanity, and hope.
Look, the invitation isn't to believe everything immediately, but simply to open the pages, read honestly, and listen carefully. Because some discoveries, well, they can't be explained. They have to be encountered. The book is open, and the invitation remains. What will you discover?